Hare Krishna. So in the last session, we saw how Dhruva, a 5-year-old boy, was insulted by his stepmother. And he took insult very seriously. He took it to the heart. Then he went to his mother, and his mother, she cautioned Dhruva that not to think ill of the stepmother. Even though she has misbehaved with Dhruva, she has insulted Dhruva, Dhruva should not think ill about her. And then finally, Dhruva expresses his desire that I want such a kingdom that no one before had. So Suniti says that only Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu can give you this. Nobody can give you. Nobody else has the power to give you that. What do you want? So then you go to Lord Vishnu. So he asked, Mother, where can I find the Supreme Lord? She said, Beta, I do not know, but I've heard that many sages and saints, they go to forest to find the Supreme Lord. So you also proceed. So then Dhruva proceeds. And he meets Narada Muni. So that is what we discussed last week. So Narada Muni, now it's a process that when a disciple or a student comes to Guru, the Guru will test him. He can also test. Testing does not mean offending. How a student can test whether the teacher is bona fide or not? It is possible without offending. It's like, you should know whether teacher is in parampara or not. Whether the Guru to whom I am approaching is coming in parampara or not. It's very important. So Narad Muni needs no introduction in that way. Lord Krishna gave instruction to Brahma and Brahma gave to Narad Muni. So that's how powerful Narada is. So test is done. Now Narada Muni will test Dhruva. Very important. How a student is tested. The teacher checks the determination. Whether Dhruva is really determined or Dhruva is just, like insulted. Many times some incident happens in our life and we become emotionally surcharged. We become emotionally surcharged. So what happens? We take some decision without realizing whether that can be done or not. So that's very emotional. It happens, like sometimes you see people say, oh, I will not talk to you. Small kids, 4 years old, 5 years old, when the mother does not give the toffee, they'll say, I will not talk to you. You did not give me toffee. You gave it to my brother. You gave it to my sister. I'm not going to talk to you. My mother smiles. How long he will not talk? So that's childish. But Dhruva is also only 5 years old. Narad Muni has to test whether his desire to attain Supreme Lord and then attain the kingdom, whether it is, has some backing or it's just very emotional. It's very childish. So then he says that, my dear Dhruva, huh, one second. So then he said, Dhruva, what your mother said is perfectly all right. It's wonderful. And anyone who's very intelligent must accept devotional service to the Lord. Everyone. Prahlad Maharaj, also 5 years old boy, he says, everyone who's an intelligent person must accept Bhagavad Dharma as given in Srimad Bhagavatam. Iha Bhagavata Dharma. So now, Dhruva, because you have decided to take this difficult, it is wonderful, but it's difficult. It's not easy. It's not a cakewalk. You have to perform a lot of austerities, a lot of penances. It's not going to be easy. And after many, many births, these rishis and sages, they practice it for birth after birth. In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says a very interesting point. In the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that if a yogi is not successful in his attempt, he is an unsuccessful yogi, but there is no harm. Because Arjuna is asking, what happens to those unsuccessful yogis who start on the path of spirituality, but they do not complete it? Now, if I ask you, what happens to an engineering student who starts his engineering but does not complete his 4 years of engineering? Even after 50 years, he left in between and then he's taken up a job or family business or whatever. What happens? You will say he's not an engineer. He's not completed his course. What happens to a PhD student? Same. They have not completed the course. So Arjuna is asking, what happens to a spiritual student who has embarked on the spiritual journey but does not complete it in this life? Krishna says, absolutely no problem. If he has completed 50%, he will start in next life from 51st%. That 50% is recorded. It's not going anywhere. It's an eternal account. Bhakti process is an eternal account. So, if bhakti is eternal, don't get disturbed. That does not means that we go very slow, because there's a lot of problem in this material world and it's going to increase. So let us try to finish as soon as possible. That is what Krishna is saying. But even if you don't complete, that's okay. You can continue in next birth. So there is no loss. So here Narad Muni is saying many, many births these sages practice. And even after that, success or no success is not guaranteed. He is talking about the process of yoga. It's not a bhakti process. Just 1 second. Actually, it is Sunday. Still, Outside this office, there are some workers working because Janmashtami is coming. So they're talking to go and request them. So here Narad Muni is talking about the yogis. There Krishna is talking about the bhakti yogis. There's a difference. Bhakti has success guaranteed. Any other process like Dhyan Yoga, like Gyan Yoga, like Karma Yoga, guarantee is success is not guaranteed. So he's saying that they practice, yogis they practice, and eventually whether they attain or not, but it is very difficult. So better it is, Dhruva, you go home and you try to pacify your heart, your mind, and forget. And these things happen in life. What is the big deal? This is also a form of illusion. How many times we all have been insulted? Many times. Does that mean we should not take insult seriously? No, we must take. But when we should take and what we should do next. If every time we take, some people keep talking. Yeah. Whatever you do, there will be some people who will be critical, who will talk against you. You just ignore. There's absolutely nothing you can do for them. You try to explain them, they'll become more angry. Yeah? It is said in the Niti Shastra, don't try to preach, don't try to give good instruction, wisdom to a foolish person. He'll only become angry, like a snake. So then we don't have to take. So we learn. What Narad Muni is teaching is also very important, that we should learn to digest the insults. So all right. It makes sense. And how do we deal with it? So then Narad Muni gives this wonderful formula. Please remember this. See what is happening? People are becoming envious. People have a lot of ego, attitude. They're adamant, stubborn. They're non-friendly. What is happening around us? Now this shloka, which Narad Muni is going to speak, is very important. What is happening around us? A lot of negativity we are surrounded. A lot of negativity. What do we do? Do we all run away to forest? It's not possible. It is not possible. So what do we do? So then Narad Muni says, every person, how he or she should deal with other person. So he says, if you meet a person who is advanced than you, who's more qualified than you, then you become happy. That I met a person who is more qualified. If you meet a person who is less qualified than you, then you become compassionate and try to teach him something, if he accepts. Third case, when you meet a person who is equally qualified to you, make friendship with him. But what is happening in the world? What we see? If you meet a person, that's what is happening. If you meet a person more qualified, then there's a tendency to become envious. Oh, this fellow is so qualified. He has so much money. He has so much qualification. He is this. I want this. I want everyone what he have. I want everything what he has. But you are not able to get. So what happens? We tend to become envious. Desire is good. Okay, you have a desire. You want something, that's okay. But don't become envious. What you desire, if you're not getting, it's okay. Don't become envious. What's happening when we meet the person who's less qualified than us? When we show We show our attitude, we show our power, we show our qualifications, we show our skills, too much show off. And that person feels so bad. Huh? He feels so insignificant. Why should we anytime make anyone feel insignificant in front of us? I've seen sometimes, like you're driving in a car and a beggar comes. Okay, you don't want to give, don't give. You want to give, you give. Don't show that you're superior and that beggar is inferior. It's okay. Okay, begging is not good. He should work and earn money. But if it is doing, you don't have to worry about anything. If you just want to ignore, you ignore him. But I have seen people who look down on them. Not only beggars, like you would have seen sometime when you are meeting in your office, suppose, and you see some very qualified person, you will look down. They give you such a nasty look. You feel so bad. And when two equals are meeting, what happens? Narad Muni is saying you should become friendly. But when two equals are meeting, there is mix of negative emotions like envy and ego. We try, there's like locking the horns. That's what is happening. Such a wonderful teaching Narad Muni is giving here. So when we meet a person who's more qualified, we should become happy. I met a person who's more qualified. Very nice. I'm inspired. I'm impressed and inspired. If we meet a person who's less qualified, it's okay. This person is less qualified today. Tomorrow, whatever may happen, we don't know. It doesn't take the nature is like that, turns the table anytime. But now, okay, if I can help something, if I can give him some knowledge or something, then I should try. Otherwise, I should just go. And third, when I meet a person who's equally qualified, then I should make friendship with him. Then what happens? What will happen with this? Your mind, how other person behaves with you, that's not important. That you have to tolerate. But if you behave in this way, your mind will be always at peace. Your mind will be always at peace. That's what we want. We want to attain peace. Such a simple formula. And then Dhruva Maharaj, he says, my dear Lord Narad Ji, whatever you are saying is perfect. There's absolutely no doubt about what you are saying is wrong. I'm not doubting on what you're saying. But please try to understand my situation and please forgive my impudence that I will not be able to follow these instructions. My heart is pierced with the sharp and harsh words of my stepmother. I'm not in any mood to get pacified. It's not my fault. I am born in the family of Kshatriyas, and Kshatriyas are like that. They can take anything but insult. They can take anything, but they cannot tolerate insult. So please advise me that what I want to achieve, how can I achieve? You are son of Brahma. Please be compassionate on me. Please be merciful on me and show me the path. How can I find Lord Vishnu who will actually give me the kingdom which is bigger than the kingdom of Brahma? Dhruva Maharaj says, "Oh Narada Muni, you keep traveling all over the universe and are very compassionate to the fallen souls. Please be compassionate on me." Hearing these statements, Narada became very compassionate and he says, My dear Dhruva, the instruction given by your mother Suniti are to follow the path of devotional service is perfect. Now he's talking about devotional service. Earlier, Narad Muni was talking about Ashtanga Yoga. But Suniti told him Bhakti Yoga. So he says that's perfect. Anyone and everyone at any stage of life must practice Bhakti. So you should completely absorb yourself in the devotional service of the Lord. How will you do that? That is what Dhruva Maharaj is asking. How do I perform devotional service? So he says, Narada Muni says, that my dear boy, go to Madhuvan. Madhuvan is in Vrindavan. And this incident is happening in Kannauj. Just go to Madhuvan in Vrindavan. The most sacred place in the entire universe is Vrindavan. So go there. See, the best place to practice devotional service is Vrindavan. And wherever you are, if you're worshipping Krishna, keeping Krishna in your center, in the center of your life, that place becomes Vrindavan. So he says, you go to Vrindavan on the bank of Yamuna. There's a forest known as Madhuvan. There are 12 forests like Kumudvan, Talvan, Madhuvan, Mahavan, Vrindavan, Lohavan, Bilvavan, Belvan. There are 12 forests. Dwadasha Kanana. And one of them is Madhuvan. Still that place is beautiful. You must visit Vrindavan and see that place. Very beautiful place. So he says, you go there and just by going there, you will be purified. And you will be drawn closer to Krishna. That is why it's very important to go for Vrindavan Yatras. Wherever we get opportunity, we should go, but we should go along with devotees, not alone. Of all the places of pilgrimage, Vrindavan is topmost. So you go to Vrindavan. Then you should take bath 3 times in a day in the waters of Yamuna, which is also known as Kalindi. Why 3 times? It's so pure and it's purifying that the more you take bath, the easier it is for you to practice bhakti. Then you go there, and now to practice bhakti, he's teaching some process. This is applicable even for Kali Yuga. So bhakti process doesn't change. Other processes, they kind of change according to time, place. But bhakti is so amazing, so simple. So he says, go and chant this mantra. So Dhruva Maharaj is given mantra which was the mantra in Satyuga. And that mantra is 12-syllable mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Now in this Kali Yuga, especially in this Kali Yuga, the mantra for this yuga, for this age, which will give the perfection for a sadhaka, the perfection for practitioner is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So that is the mantra. Why? Because Narad Muni has come as Srivas Thakur and Krishna has come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Balaram has come as Nityanand Prabhu, Srimati Radharani has come as Gadadhar, and Mahavishnu along with Sadashiv has come as Advaita Acharya. And these 5 personalities, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Gadadhar, Srivasadi, Gaur Bhakta, these 5 personalities have again come and they have given this mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is what we should chant. So the first and foremost thing, Dhruva, you should go to Vrindavan, take bath, and chant this mantra. Then, so every day, that is why every day, first thing morning, we chant. Now, someone will say, but Prabhu, we are not taking bath in Yamuna. Who's telling you not to take bath in Yamuna? Did anyone stop you? Oh, where is Yamuna in Mumbai? Yamuna is in Vrindavan, okay, in Delhi. Where is Yamuna in Mumbai? So wherever and whenever, even in this country or outside this country, whenever we are taking bath, we should remember these sacred rivers. Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, Godavari, Kaveri, Narmada, Sindhu, these 7 sacred rivers. We should remember them. And just by thinking about them, actually you are taking bath in them. That is the potency of remembering. This bhakti. Sitting here, if we remember Krishna, so Krishna is there with us. We are not able to see, but he is there. When we are chanting Krishna, we feel that. So we should chant these, Gange, Yamune, Saraswati, Godavari, Narmade, Kaveri, Sindhu. We should invite them when we are taking bath. Before taking bath, actually we should invite. And in your shower, the water which is coming is actually from these 7 sacred rivers. So we should take bath, and then what we do? We chant Hare Krishna mantra. Second thing, Narad Muni says, is you make a form of the Lord. It's very important. See, in Satyuga, Narad Muni is talking about the form of the Lord. And these bogus people who say the Lord has no form, they're such bogus people. Nirakarvadis, Mayavadis, Shunyavadis, all bogus. Mayavadi, Krishna, Aparadi, Chaitanya, they are offenders actually. One who says Krishna has no form is an offender. The gravest kind of offense. Krishna is the most beautiful form. And people are saying, these foolish people, they say Krishna has no form. How sad. Krishna's most beautiful form in the entire creation. All the forms are coming from Krishna. Everything beautiful you see, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ekom Shena Sthita Jagat. Arjun, whatever beautiful you are seeing in the nature, whatever, they are just appearing from the spark of my beauty. From the spark. Imagine how beautiful Krishna would be. We cannot even imagine. And this insignificant human beings, unintelligent, they are saying that Krishna has no form. Arjuna asked this question in Bhagavad Gita, that my dear Lord, worship of your form or worship of your impersonal feature, which is without form, which is better? Krishna says, definitely, you should worship me with my form. Worshipping without form is painful, is miserable, and does not guarantee any success. There is no success at all. So form is so important. Dhruva Maharaj is being taught by Narada Muni 5,000 years back, Bhagavad Gita. In Satyuga, he's teaching that you should worship the form of the Lord. How do I make? The form, now Krishna is completely spiritual. But if Krishna appears before us in spiritual form, we cannot see him. We'll not be able to see him. Because our eyes are trained to see material. They materialize. So then Krishna, very, very mercifully, he agrees to manifest himself in the form of matter. So that we can see him, we can pray to him, we can serve him, we can worship him, we can pay obeisances, we can feed him, we can, give him good dresses, jewelry. Otherwise, how will we serve? So he appears in different material forms, but he is not material. So he appears in stone, he appears in marble, he appears in glass, he appears in painting, he appears in brass, or even ashtadhatu. He appears in mud, he appears in wood. So these are different forms by which you can make a deity of the Lord. These are 7, and the 8, he appears in the mind. Very advanced devotees just think about Krishna in the mind, in their heart, and what they see, actually Krishna appears. Krishna is there. So then you are going to forest. So you will not have a lot of facilities. So you collect some mud, mix it with, with the water, and then make a form. He describes, make the form of the Lord, and then sit in front of the Lord and worship. Whatever you see at the deities in ISKCON, it appears marble and wood, but it is not. It is Krishna is appearing in that form so that we can see him, because we cannot see spiritual, we can only see matter. So Krishna appears in material form, but he does not become material, he is still spiritual. That's why thousands and thousands and millions and billions of people are coming to temples. That is form. So first is mantra, then he says make the form of the deity, and he talks beautiful form. Narada Muni describes such a beautiful form of the Lord. We don't have time to go in detail. Very beautiful how he looks. His forehead. Now obviously he is describing about Lord Vishnu. There's a different form of Lord Ram. Some detail changes. Krishna is a cowherd boy with a yellow dhoti is every form, but Krishna wears peacock feather, which no other Lord Vishnu avatars they wear. Krishna holds the flute. Krishna has a beautiful, enchanting smile. When he smiles, the mountains, they melt. The stones melt. The wind stops. The river Yamuna stops. Beautiful. Such a wonderful description is given in so many places in Bhagavad. In third chapter, third canto, in fourth canto, fifth canto, everywhere, form of the Lord is being glorified. You come and see Radha Ras Bihari, so beautiful, so beautiful. He wears this sharp-shaped earrings. He wears a nose ring here in between. It's beautiful. Big eyes, huge eyes, stretching up to the ear like a lotus petal. Beautiful curly hair. He has a Kaustubhamani. He has his neck, which has 3 lines. So many things about Krishna. So then you should chant mantra, you should worship the deity, and you should meditate on Krishna. So that's what Narada Muni is teaching. And Narada Muni gave entire process. So what is the entire process? You must chant Hare Krishna mantra. You must worship the deities. You must meditate on the activities of Krishna. What are we doing? 3 things. So all of you must chant. All of you must chant every day without fail Hare Krishna mantra. All of you must worship some form of the Lord. I told you one of the description given in the scriptures is painting. So you can have a photograph. If you don't have form of the deity, you can have photograph. That's also form. So you should have a beautiful frame of Radha Krishna. And every day, At least you can pay obeisances. Man mana bhava madbhakto madhya jimam namaskuru. Namaskuru, namaskar to karo bhai. That much you can do. You can go glass of water 2 times, morning and evening, to Krishna. I mean, you're not so poor that you cannot even give a glass of water. If you are so poor, at least pay obeisances and pray. And sit in front of their lordships and chant. That much you can do. If you can give a glass of water, that's very good. If you can, get some flower, offer it. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Toyam is water. Patram is tulsi leaf. You grow tulsi anywhere. You get a plant of tulsi plant. Every day you can offer one tulsi leaf, the lotus feet of Krishna. Patram pushpam, flower. Patram pushpam phalam, one fruit. Or whatever you're cooking. You all are eating food. So whatever you cook, you offer it to Lord. Maybe some incense stick. 3, 7 times just revolve. Offer it and just keep it in the stand. That's all. 3 incense sticks, some water, some food, whatever you're eating. 1 flower, 1 tulsi leaves. That's all. At least this much we can do. And sit in front of them and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Such a simple process of bhakti. And then chanting and worshipping is done. Then meditate on the pastimes of the Lord. So we read Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. We hear Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Ramayana, Mahabharata will come. But Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita start. And when you hear about Lord, when you read about Lord, what will happen? Naturally, there will be remembrance about Lord. The more you read, the more you hear, the more you remember. As simple as possible. And then Dhruva understands complete process. He circumambulates Narada Muni, pays obeisance, and goes to Madhuvan. On the other side, Narada Muni goes to King, Dhruva's father, and he's sad. I'm such a useless father, a henpecked husband. Should not have treated Dhruva like this. Where is he? In which situation? The Narada Muni says, don't worry, my king. My dear king, don't worry. Your son will very soon. He will conquer the unconquerable. Ajita, one of the name of Lord is Ajita, who's unconquerable, but your son will very soon conquer him. So one who's determined and has full faith in the spiritual master, he will conquer the Lord. He had full faith in Narada Muni and he was determined to practice. He will conquer. He will attain Krishna. So king is pacified. Dhruva reaches, makes the deity, takes bath, sit, and starts chanting. In the first month, some austerities we should perform. Not like what Dhruva is, what I'm going to tell about Dhruva. Yeah? At least Ekadashi Vrata. Please do not eat grains, cereals, pulses, beans on Ekadashi day. Tomorrow is Ekadashi. There is so much Ekadashi, fruits, veggies, and bhagar, sam, whatever you say, sabudana. So many Ekadashi items are available. Peanuts. Don't eat anything grains. It's an offense. It contains all papa. Sinful reactions are there in the grains if we eat on that day. So we should avoid that much austerity. And on the day of Janmashtami, which is coming, fast. That's all. This is sufficient. A day of Acharyas and Lord will come. Otherwise, Ekadashi is sufficient. But austerity performed by Dhruva, which we cannot even imitate. We should not even imitate in the dream. We cannot do that. So in the first month, Dhruva was eating once in 3 days. Sorry, I ate 3 times in one day. And what did you say? I said, Dhruva was eating once in 3 days. Once in 3 days. Ayo, how will I survive? Yeah, that is why I'm saying. This is for the inspiration. This is not for application. We cannot apply. This is for inspiration, to inspire. Wow. Dhruva is my real hero. Jai Dhruva. He eats only berries and fruits. And in the forest, you don't get mangoes and all that. In forest, you get only forest fruits, which are not very tasty. Once he ate, then after 3 days, no time to waste. You eat more, you sleep more. Then you become lazy in performing. Then another month, Dhruva was not satisfied. He wanted to increase. So next month, he was eating once in 6 days. Once in 6 days. Not even fruits and berries, but dry grass and dry leaves. The leaves which have fallen from the trees. Not even fresh leaves, soft. He was eating dry, hard leaves and dry grass. He was still not satisfied. Next month, third month, he increased. He was drinking water once in 9 days. Once in 9 days. In 1 hour of class, I drink water at least 9 times. Dhruva Maharaj is drinking water once in 9 days. How much you can drink? 1 liter, 2 liters, 3 liters? How much? 9 days? I don't know even if camel can survive like this. Fourth month, he was only inhaling the air once in 12 days. No eating of fruits and berries, no grass and leaves, no water, only air once in 12 days. Inhale. Now after 12 days. Can you perform? Any one of you, if you can perform, I'll give you chocolate. We have in ISKCON, we make homemade chocolates. So any one of you can perform these austerities, I'll give you chocolate, which you cannot eat. So you will give it back to me and I will enjoy it. You cannot eat that chocolate because you're only on, you're subsisting only on air once in 12 days. And the fifth month, Dhruva stopped air also. Completely stopped. Just standing on one leg. No motion, nothing. His consciousness was completely merged with Krishna. Becoming Krishna consciousness, merging with the consciousness, not merging the soul, but merging the consciousness. He became, his power increased as if, because Krishna is there in the heart. He's become supremely powerful because of the mercy of Krishna. And he was standing on one leg and the earth was going down because of his weight. He became so powerful, heavy. And because he was not breathing, his consciousness became completely one with the entire cosmos consciousness. So then when he was not breathing, there was no air outside. It was not flowing because he was controlling the air. So all the demigods, they feel they're choking up. They cannot breathe. So they all went to Lord Vishnu, my dear Lord, please help us. What is happening? Lord Vishnu said, do not worry. My devotee, my pure devotee Dhruva is practicing bhakti. And I will very soon go to him and pacify him, give my darshan, and everything will be well. This is how Dhruva Maharaj enters the forest and practices. Next week, we will see wonderful prayers. We'll discuss about wonderful prayers. Lord will give darshan and we'll discuss about the prayers. Hare Krishna. I have another lecture. It was scheduled at 6:45. So I will leave, and you all can read the description which I said today. You all can read, and it's a wonderful description, especially where Narad Muni is describing the form of Lord Ramharipura. You can display that and read that. Hare Krishna.
Thank Chakravarti Prabhuji by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we'll share the screen and we'll read the description of Lord Vishnu given by Narad Muni.